Hi, conscious lovers. So excited to be here with you. I'm trying this again. Hopefully, my camera will work this time. So, you are in the right place if you feel like this is an especially busy time of year for you. I know in our family, I'm like trying to put together a family calendar with all of our children's activities and holiday parties and deadlines and work stuff and projects I'm up to, and are just running a household, things that need to be taken care of and attended to. And as a working parent, I know how busy and hectic life can be. And so I'm really, really excited to talk to you today about boundaries and the way that boundaries can really help to protect your marriage, your relationship from some of these outside forces that really can drain so much of our energy. And so I realize there's a reality to it. There are many things that we need to take care of, that we have to do. We have lots of responsibilities. But if we're not feeling solid or secure or grounded in our marriage, it makes it even harder to get other stuff done. Let me know if you agree with that. If you're watching the replay or joining me live, type in a 1 or just say agree if that seems to be true for you as well. I know for myself, if I feel like I'm on solid ground, if I feel secure in my connection with my husband, I feel much more resourced and more able to take care of my long to-do list. And I try not to make them too long, but I'm still working on that. So I want you to think about boundaries in your marriage. Which ones do you already have? What kinds of boundaries would protect your energy or the energy around you as a couple? So many people tell me that the first thing to go is either their self-care or their marriage, and that gets relegated to like the bottom of the list. If I have time, one day when we have time, when all this stuff is taken care of, then we'll get back to ourselves. And the problem with that is that it drains you, right? It drains you of things to look forward to, of energy, of ways to nurture yourself. And when we're running around feeling depleted or kind of suspending ourselves and our needs, it makes it even more difficult to find the energy and the motivation to follow through in other parts of our lives, or to feel creative or confident, right, in other parts of our lives. So boundaries are super important, and a lot of people kind of feel resistant to that word, but clear limits really can help you in your marriage, just the same way that clear limits and predictability can be so helpful when you're parenting, right? It keeps the whole family sort of knowing what to expect, knowing what comes next, knowing, what goes and what doesn't at different times of day. And that clarity can really help to protect your energy and can help you make decisions quickly, especially if you're under a lot of stress. So my question to you is, which boundaries do you already have that you've established with your partner, and what do they do for you? How do they help you? And which boundaries do you feel you might still be missing, or that you might want to shore up and solidify? I can think of quite a few things that the couples I work with, and for myself too, can run interference with the boundaries around a relationship. So I'll list a couple, and you can let me know which ones resonate for you. But work is a big one, bringing work home, working on weekends, boundaries around, when one partner works or doesn't, boundaries or some sort of agreement around who stays with the kids if your child is sick, who's the person who changes their work schedule or asks if their supervisor, if you're employed working for someone else, for time off to take care of a child, that could be one boundary. How you handle technology in your marriage. Is it okay to bring screens into your bedroom? Is there a certain time when you want to turn all of the technology off and just be with each other? What are the boundaries that you have with extended family? Is there time just for the two of you? And when I say time, I don't mean just actual time, but I mean, a way to really bring presence to each other in a regular, consistent way. So think of the things where you kind of get tripped up or where you get stressed out. And I want you to think about whether there could be some sort of clear expectation or limit or boundary that you could talk about with your partner, so that next time you feel stressed in that way, there's more clarity around, how you'd like to handle things. If you have any examples of how you've handled that, let us know, and you can feel free to share. So, for example, I have couples who say, they will watch, a movie together downstairs, whether it's on their iPads or on a television screen, but they won't bring in their cell phones into their bedroom at all, ever. So they know that that's their zone just to be with each other. Another boundary, for example, that my husband and I have, that we, I feel like it's been the biggest gift for us that we've ever given ourselves, is having regular date nights. And I know that's not always possible for everyone, and it doesn't have to be you going out, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be sometimes we just take a walk together. And I realize that for many of you, and for myself too, sometimes it's hard to find a sitter that you trust. So make a date night at home. Just, be present with each other. Have a heart-to-heart conversation. Make a dessert you really enjoy together, or, get something to drink that you really enjoy, and make it really cozy, and make it about you, and talk about your relationship, things that feel good. Just have a boundary around a time where will be your time to nurture yourselves and each other and your relationship, because your relationship, like we said yesterday, is a living, breathing organism in its own right, and it needs your attention. It needs both of you to be continuously checking in with it and asking, and being deliberate about asking, how are we doing? How are we feeling? Is there tension between us that needs to be addressed? Are there things that would give us more meaning? Are there ways we can simplify things or create some boundaries or limits about when we do things or when we don't? I also have found for myself that our children's bedtime routines has been a boundary in our family. It's not necessarily a boundary around our marriage, but it's been a boundary in our family, or a ritual, if you will, that's brought a lot of just calmness to all of us, to our rhythm, because we know, I don't try to check my phone when we're having dinner, or, when we're going up for bedtime. Neither does my husband, and our kids know that is our time to be together, to really kind of wind down, settle down, and be with each other and bring our presence to each other. And the times where I'm more distracted, or when I might be tempted to check my phone, are times where, it actually takes a lot longer, because our kids sense that I'm not really with them, right? Or that I'm preoccupied with something. So pay attention in your own lives, and just pick one thing, one time of day or one experience that you'd like to protect, that you'd like to fiercely protect, and talk with your partner about what kind of boundary you might be able to establish around that experience or that time, whether it's something, for the two of you or in your family life. And let us know and share what you come up with, and just allow yourself to experiment. Boundaries don't have to be rigid, right? So that's a misconception a lot of people have. You can still build in some flexibility even when you have good, solid boundaries. And healthy boundaries are actually boundaries that are permeable enough so that when things come up and change, you can adjust, but are solid enough so that they provide the protection and the reliability and the predictability that they're meant to provide. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Let me know what comes up for you, what ideas you have, where you struggle, which boundaries are harder for you to establish, and which ones come more easily to you. And I'm trusting that this can start a really wonderful conversation here, especially during this time of year when all of us need more clarity about where to focus our energy and our attention, and how to make sure that we're bringing it back to ourselves and to our relationships and the people who matter most to us and who we love. Take care, and I can't wait to see your comments. Okay, Bye.